start with the main device itself because there's a lot of peripherals that turn this into a different experience. So what we've got here as the base is the world's first 2K folding OLED. This is a 13.3-inch screen, the 2K resolution. I mean, the blacks look great. The crease is there as we saw in an earlier prototype, but somehow not that noticeable as I'm watching this video. But I will say that when I'm reading an article on like a black font, white background sort of situation, the crease is a little bit more significant. However, with folding screens, you kind of have to live with some trade-offs, and this is perhaps one of them. Now, we all know with a foldable screen, there's a lot of potential for breakage and damage. Or one of the things that Lenovo has done here is to have 2 carbon fiber plates built underneath the screen to protect it from damage from the outside. There's also a hinge here, a 4-part hinge that has interlocking arms and will make sure that the pieces fit well together when you have it open or bent. It's a little thicker than I'm used to for, say, a tablet, but bear in mind this is really a laptop, right? There's Intel's Lakefield processors in here, there's integrated UHD graphics, there's also a fan and heat sinks in this device, so this is pretty beefy. Lenovo also built in a kickstand to the back of the ThinkPad X1 Fold so you can prop it up at your desk and with a bunch of assorted peripheries, turn this into a full laptop experience. You can connect a Bluetooth keyboard, for example, one of your choice, and have a proper typing experience. Or if you want to use the keyboard that Lenovo made specifically for the X1 Fold, this guy sits on the screen when it's sort of half folded and allows you to kind of type in a teeny tiny laptop configuration. I'd recommend that you still keep your Bluetooth keyboard lying around because that offers a more comfortable typing experience when you're on your desktop. But on the go, I found this tiny typer situation convenient for banging out a quick email reply or messaging on Telegram, but I wouldn't use this to type out my next article, probably. Some of the keys are positioned a little differently from where I'd expected, but I will say there is decent travel here and the thing feels sturdy. We encountered some glitches here and there with this version of the keyboard accessory, but it's still a whiles out, so thankfully Lenovo has some time to work on that. What's really special about this keyboard is that when you slot it in between the 2 sides of the screen and fold it, it will snap shut evenly. The ThinkPad X1 Fold closes and there's no gap with the keyboard in there, and it wirelessly charges this Bluetooth connected keyboard, which is nice. There are 2 USB-C ports on this ThinkPad X1 Fold. You can use it to connect, say, whatever dongle you might want, or you can set it up at your workstation and plug in an external monitor if you want to, multitask like a boss. If you want a video conference, for example, there's a webcam up there, or you can do it all over 5G, perhaps, if you get the right model and if your carrier supports it. Now, by the time the ThinkPad X1 Fold is available in mid-2020, we're not sure yet if Windows' 10X software that's meant to power dual screen or folding devices like this will be ready. And Lenovo knows that and is going to first ship the X1 Fold with Windows 10 Pro. But because this is a unique situation, it also had to integrate some sort of software for you to use this in all of the modes that we just talked about. So if you're holding up the device in landscape mode and you hit the mode switcher shortcut on the bottom right in the taskbar, you can launch a split screen app or have one app take over the entire display. But flip it over to portrait orientation and another option appears, which is one to have the screen split so that the lower third or so of the screen is filled up with an on-screen keyboard. So if you don't have that Bluetooth keyboard on you, you can still type a little less easily, but you still can type out your documents. Lenovo is estimating that the 50 watt-hour battery in the ThinkPad X1 Fold should last about 11 hours. And this whole thing, for those of you measuring at home, weighs about 2.2 pounds. So this isn't like a typical moleskin notebook, it's a very heavy one. And when it's unfolded, the sides measure about 11.5 millimeters. So if you want to make your comparisons now, do so. For that $24.99 price, you're only going to get the ThinkPad X1 Fold itself. You're not going to get the keyboard or a stylus or a stand that Lenovo also has made for this device. We'll learn more about the pricing for those things as they're being confirmed. But Lenovo isn't targeting this device at your everyday average Joe worker in an open office, for example. This is really meant for someone who's like an early adopter who wants to see what they can achieve with something like this. It's probably someone who is a developer trying to figure out how to code for such a device. 2020 and the years ahead are going to be filled with folding screen devices like this. So it makes sense that Lenovo wants to get it out there early. For now, this is a very interesting taste of what's to come. We haven't seen other PC companies officially show us something like that yet. Lenovo's beat everyone to the punch. That gives them a lot more experience as to what to deal with in the future, and it does mean that maybe future Lenovo foldable PCs will be the ones to get.